Hello, everyone. I am Terry Hartley at Rustic Cards. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States. Today, I'm coming to you from sunny and warm Florida, but normally I am here from the rolling hills of Iowa. My stay in Florida is coming toward a close. I am here visiting my sister, but I will need to get back home before too long because that dreaded word taxes will have to be done, right? And I'm sure many of you have already have your taxes all finished, and that's off your list to do, but it still is on my list. As you get the notification and hop on, please say hi. Let me know where you are watching from. I really appreciate that. And today I am going to make a card. I'm calling it a framed card, and I'm going to be using the Waves of Inspiration bundle. And this bundle is an early release from the new catalog that will be live in May of this year. So I hope that you enjoy the card. I'm going to be making a frame card using designer series paper from this Waves collection. Now, the stamp set and the dies will be in the annual catalog, and that's what I'm going to use today. But I'm also going to be using the designer series paper that will not be in the annual catalog. So it's only as supplies last. And I'll share that collection with you. And you're watching this, today is Tuesday, March 15th, 2022. And you know you're watching it live if it says live up in the corner. Otherwise, you're watching the replay. Welcome. Either way, I am so happy that you are here. So today, when I turn the camera down in a few minutes, I'm going to let you know what Stampin' Up! Has. There's a savings going on. I don't want you to miss out on that. I also have a celebration in March, I'm calling it, because March is my birthday and it's also the anniversary of when I joined Stampin' Up! So I have a little kind of like a thank you to those of you that support me by watching my videos, leaving a comment, or sharing my videos or placing orders with me. So it's a way of me to give back. Before we turn the camera down and start stamping, I want to give away some prizes from last week. In order to be in a drawing for prizes, just leave me a comment and you'll be in a drawing. If you share this video, and I am streaming this on Facebook and also on YouTube, so just whichever one you're watching this from, if you would share that, I appreciate it. And your name will be in a drawing. And if you leave a comment and share, your name will go in twice for a drawing. And if you place an order with me, from the last time I was live, your name goes in a drawing. So those are the three ways. Well, last week I used Waves of Inspiration, and I used every element in the suite or collection of Waves of Inspiration to make this slimline card. And if you did not watch last week's video, you can still do that. And congratulations to Regine Ann of Maryland. You were the winner of the random drawing for leaving a comment. So please reach out to me. You can leave me so I can send this to you, but I need your address. You can email me at rusticbarncards@gmail.com, or there's a contact there you can see at my website, which is on the screen. All right. And then congratulations for placing an order with me. The special moments, it is all sentiments, but I think you will enjoy it. Lovely sentiments. Hi, Marie. Good to see you. So congratulations, Donna Welch of Virginia. And I do have your address, so this will go out in the mail tomorrow. Okay. Well, as I said, I'm going to turn the camera down, and I'm going to be sharing some savings that Stampin' Up! Has going on right now, and a little special that I have going on. And then we're going to make a framed card using Waves of Inspiration bundle. So let me turn the light on so you can see a little bit better. So I have a stamps club, a monthly stamps club, and normally it's $30. And you normally get a stamp set and a card kit for 6 cards and a video. But this is going to be a sample of my monthly stamps club. And for the month of March, my sample is free. And for that, what you receive is a card kit for 3 cards mailed to your house, one of 3 different designs. You have a card for, and you'll get envelopes. I am going to put the video. It's going to be a public video towards the end of on March 31st on YouTube. So you can just make your cards as you watch the video, or you can replay it and watch it as many times as you want to, or at your convenience. And that, but you do need to register by March 23rd. So for the sample stamps club, you will not receive a stamp set. So you will need your own stamp set. I'm going to be using the Waves of Inspiration, but you can use any stamp set that you have. And for more information on how to register, is in the description, or you can go over to rusticbarncards.com. So again, it's just a sample of my monthly stamps club, and it's a way of thanking all of you who support my paper crafting business. And then Stampin' Up, they have right now through the end of March, they have Savings Are in Bloom, and they have the mini Stampin' Cut Emboss machine on sale, along with 13 stamps and bundles. And my mini Stamp and Cut Emboss machine arrived this week. I haven't even used it yet, but we are going to use it today on our card. So I'm excited about that. Now, if you would like to see all of these stamp sets a little bit closer, you can go over to my webpage. And the first page looks like this. And you can't really see here, but there are menu items. And sometimes if you hover, there's even more pages underneath each of those. And on the first page, it says the mini cut and emboss and the 13 stamp bundles. And you just click right here, and it'll take you where you can actually see those bundles a little bit easier. And then you can sign up for the free sample of my monthly stamps club by clicking here. And it's also up in the menu too. Now, the last couple of weeks, I have been making a kind of like a project sheet or a recipe card for the cards that I make on my YouTube and Facebook channel. And I have the directions, all the item numbers, the supplies that I use, a picture of the card, and you can print these. And so you can come here to my webpage and you can click and find those recipe cards, I guess I'll call them. So I'm going to have one for today. I do not have it downloaded yet. It'll be about an hour after the video. Then I will go ahead and add that recipe card to my webpage, and there'll be a link in this description of the Facebook and the YouTube. This is the beautiful Waves of Inspiration collection I was telling you about, and we're going to use the stamp set and dies today and the designer series paper. And again, the stamp set and dies will be in the new annual catalog. It's early release, and you can order these right now as a customer. And you can also order the designer series paper, the blue foil, and the rhinestones. But the designer series paper and the foil and the rhinestones are only as available while supplies last. We're not going to use the blue foil today, but we are going to use some designer series paper, and we'll also embellish our card with the basic jewels. Okay, so today we are going to we don't need a lot for our framed card. We need a basic white thick card base, which is 8.5 by 5.5 folded in half. And then you'll need a designer series paper, and this is 4.25 by 5.5. And just some scraps of basic white to stamp some of our images and things that we're going to need. And I may need a little help because I haven't decided whether we're going to die cut one of the waves out of our dies. And so you can help me whether you later where you think we should use a Pacific Point or the basic white. But you'll just need one, either basic white or Pacific Point at 3¼ by 5½. All right. And for ink, we're going to be using Pacific Point, Crumb Cake, Basic Gray, and Daffodil Delight. So we are going to be using several ink colors and, of course, Memento Black. And I am going to be using blending brushes today. Now, these blending brushes come you get 3 blending brushes for $12, and they are on page 129 of our annual catalog. I actually have used these. I know it doesn't, maybe it doesn't look like I've used these, but I actually have, and then I just run them underwater and let them dry and reuse them. So we're going to use one of those. We're also going to be using stitched rectangles, and I'm going to be using the 3rd from the largest. And I'm going to be using adhesive sheets. And so we will talk a little bit more about adhesive sheets in a little bit later. And if you haven't used those before, then I will show you how to use those. So again, we're using the Waves of Inspiration. We're going to be using this little seagull, pelican, and this large wave, and probably make a birthday card. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in my bone folder. And then we're going to start right off with doing some blending. We're going to add a little sun shine, like the sun up in the corner. I'm going to go ahead and move that out of the way because sometimes it just gets in the way. So I've taken a sticky note and I've just kind of cut, it's kind of, I don't know, kind of rounded here. And I'm going to place it, actually, I don't want to place it there. I want to place it right here. Okay, we'll get it figured out here in a second. There we go. And then I'm going to bring in my, I feel like maybe I cut that wrong. Let me see if I can, because I really, let's see. I just need a little bit more right here. There we go. Okay, now we're going to bring in our Daffodil Delight, and I'm just going to start it right off here, and then I'm just going to add it here. Now we are going to have a frame around our card. So I'm just kind of adding just a kind of a glow of the sun shining. And so the sticky notes are just kind of there, so I can keep it in one place. And you can just add, I always forget, you're really supposed to hold it back here on the handle. You're not supposed to hold it way up here. And I kind of got in a bad habit because I was doing it wrong at first. So now I have to kind of relearn that. And I'm going to take those off. I'm going to start here. And then I'm just going to kind of blend that a little bit. And I'm going to turn my sticky note this way. So I have the curve down here, so I get more of a curve for the sun. And then we're going to fill in this little gap here. And I think I'm going to grab another color. I think my masking could have been a little bit better. I'm going to bring in another blending brush, and we're going to add a little pumpkin pie. And not a lot, but just a little bit. Well, it's a good thing there's going to be a frame, because it looks like I got my fingers in ink, didn't I? All right, and a little more, but I think it'll be okay, because we'll come back with the Daffodil Delight, because we're gonna have a frame. So I think we'll be able to cover our mistake up. All right, we're gonna leave that like it is. I'm not real happy with my sun, but I think when we get the frame and everything, it'll be okay. But so now what we're going to do is that we are going to bring in our wave. Now, I do not have since I'm in Florida, not at home in my regular craft room, I don't have all the tools that I normally have. I would probably do this using, which I've lost the, Maria, help me out. What am I thinking of? The Stamparatus. There we go. Couldn't think of Stamparatus. I would normally use a Stamparatus, but I don't have the Stamparatus, so I'm using the largest. I have Stamparatus at home, but not here, so I'm using the largest block that we have in Pacific Point. And I'm just going to ink this up. And then I am going to stamp the wave at the bottom. And I don't know if you can tell, but see that there's a little bit of a space. So you do have to kind of, if you want the bottom of your wave to be at the edge of your paper, you need to bring your stamp down a little bit. Now, I don't care so much today, because I'm going to have a frame around my card base. Now I'm going to open that up, and I'm going to place this right over here on the left and press down and press up. All right, and that will work just fine. And so now I'm going to set this aside, and I'm going to close up the Pacific Point, and we're going to do some stamping with some of those scraps of basic white. So I'm going to bring in our little pelican and crumb cake. You can stamp the pelican in lots of different colors. You can even use blends if you want to, and color your pelican. So I am going to, you can do soft suede, you could do gray, you could do lots of colors. So I'm doing crumb cake. And I also am going to bring in our Memento Black, and we're going to stamp Happy Birthday. Doesn't really matter. But I'm gonna die cut this using a label, so I want to leave a little space on each side. I have this little metal bowl, and it is so handy because it holds my dies. And these are dies that we're going to use today. We're going to use this wave die, the third from the largest stitched rectangle, pelican die. We're going to use the wave, not wave, this is a cloud, and we're going to use the label. So I'm going to bring in our little mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and it is small, it's compact, it has 4 little feet on it so it'll stay, and then the sides fold up, so you just fold those down, and it does come with directions. I don't think I have those right with me. It also comes with all of the plates that you need. And as I said, I have not used this, so I thought I would just take out these plates and we would use this today. And oh, here are the directions right here. So they're right inside your plates. You have all your directions that you need. But what I really like is that you have directions on each of these plates. So, and they're numbered. So 4 is for the 3D embossing folder, and it tells you that right here and shows you what you need for that. 3 is to the regular standard embossing folder, and it shows you the sandwich that you need for that. And then you have 2 plates that are 2, and we're going to be using those today. And then this is your die cutting, and you start with 1, and then you use this with thin dies. And so that's what we're going to be using today. So I'm going to place this first, and then I need, it says 1, 2, 2. So I'm going to place my second plate in here, and I'm going to place my little pelican. And I don't know, I'm going to go ahead because I'm going to use the little sticky tabs you can use just to make sure that it doesn't move. And then I'm going to place the second plate right on top and just kind of start it there, and then just hang on to the top and go right through. And then take those little tabs off, and we have our pelican for our card. And now I want to and I could have done this at the same time, but I could have added the pelican and the cloud, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to use 1 cloud today, so I'll just use the other scrap there that I cut the pelican out with. So here is our cloud. And let's see, we need a label. Now you can die cut the label and then stamp your happy birthday, or you can do as I did, and I stamped the happy birthday, then I can kind of line up the label how I want it. And again, I'm going to add these little sticky tabs. Bring in the plate. Hang on to this. And we'll just take those right off. And I think we are finished with our cut and emboss machine. No, we're not. We have one more thing to do later with adhesive sheets. And now we have happy birthday. So we're going to make a birthday card. Now, another idea that I wanted to tell you about. This sentiment, our friendship is a thing of beauty. You could stamp that and put that on the front of the card. You could also stamp it. You could cut off our friendship like this. So you could put this on the front of the card, our friendship, and then inside you could have is a thing of beauty. You can stamp inside your card. So just an idea. Now I'm going to set this aside for a few minutes. And we will come back to that. And what I want to know, we are going to use this detailed wave die, and we're going to die cut it and put it right here. Do you think we should use the Pacific Point, the blue, or should we use basic white? So which one do you think we should use? So let me know. And we are going to do that. And while you're letting me know whether we should use white or blue for our wave die, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about adhesive sheets, especially if you're new to them. Now, the adhesive sheets are really great for die cutting like these detailed dies, because this would be kind of hard to add glue on it. I mean, you could, but these adhesive sheets are excellent for that. And these can be found on page 167 in our annual catalog. You receive 12 sheets at 6 inches by 12, and they are $10. I know, Maria, that is a tough one. Hi, Monica. You say blue? All right. We'll do the blue. So I'm going to, now you always want to, here's a piece of adhesive sheet, but I want to start with a new piece so I can show you how to do that. Okay, so we're going to use this blue. Now this blue is cut at 5 1/2 by 3 1/4. I probably could have that just a smidgen larger. I probably could have went with 5 3/4 by 3 1/2, but it's going to work. If it's on there, I didn't leave a lot of, leeway. So therefore, what I'm going to do is that since this is 3 1/4, I'm going to bring in my trimmer. Now you can just place this and you can use your scissors and cut. So that's, you can do that too. But I'm going to go ahead and make this 3 1/4. And then 5 1/2. I'm going to do it just a little bit less than 5 1/2 because this is rather sticky, and I want to make sure I'm not right to the edge of my Pacific Point. Now I'm going to save this because this could go on a label. So you always want to save all your adhesive sheets. Even the little pieces will help. I feel like I got this turned. Okay, so now what you're going to do, you're going to turn this over, and I should have showed you on the other one, but on the adhesive sheets, there are kind of like score lines, cut lines. So here, this is already, so I'm just going to peel this off, and I'm going to lay it right here on my Pacific Point. Then I'm going to press that down. And then I'm going to peel off the next section and press that down. And then press that down. And then these, I'm just going to throw away. And now I'm going to bring in our cut and our little mini cut and emboss machine. This really makes it nice because it's really handy to have next to you when you craft. It's also great that when I do my videos that, I can use it. Of course, we do have embossing folders that fit for this, but there are some embossing folders that are too large for the mini, but we have a lot. All 13 of those bundles that are on sale that you can save 20% from Stampin' Up! To the end of March, they all will work in the mini cut and emboss machine. Okay, so I have my plate 1, my plate 2, and I'm going to put the adhesive sheet upside, on the bottom. So I want the cardstock to be toward me. I'm going to take my die. Remember, the flat side is always towards you. And so I'm going to place this right here. I'm going to bring in that other plate 2. I don't think I need to add a strip on there. I think I can press. There we go. So now we're going to run this through. I'm going to hang on to here. Yeah, I think you'll like the sweet. Maria, you haven't bought this sweet yet. I think you'll like it. It's really, really nice. Now, I don't usually come back, but because we have that adhesive sheet, I'm just going to do that because I probably wouldn't if I wasn't on camera, but I just want to make sure that we don't have any problem with the cutting, and I don't think so with the brand new cut and emboss machine. Okay, I'll move these plates out of the way. And this is when a take your pick tool really works handy. And let's see what we have here. I think it did cut to the edge. It just, of course, I have never had a problem with it not until I'm on camera. Isn't that the way it goes? I feel like maybe that edge, maybe I didn't run it all the way through. Let's see. Well, actually, I'm not going to use that. I think we can, because we're going to have a frame, so we're just going to cut right here. There we go. I cut 2 of these today to practice, and they worked fine, but that is what happens when you're on camera. Now, you just have to just poke some of these out, and this is where your take your pick tool comes in handy. For some reason around that edge, and that may have been my, not the machine, but me. And this just pulls out, and you just take these pieces out, and they come out really easy. And that take your pick tool really helps. And if you see any white, you don't have to worry because we're going to take that white off, and it'll be sticky, and we can add it to our card. And I think if I would have had a little bit larger Pacific Point cardstock, as I mentioned, I should have had it a little bit larger than this die. I think that was my my problem. So I would cut it 5 3/4 by 3.5. And I don't think you'd have the problem that I'm having right now, because then you'd have plenty of room for your die to be cut. I think I had it just too close to the edge of my cardstock. One more over here. Okay, I think, got one more over here. It's okay because okay, perfect. Now let's get rid of some of this trash here. Get that out of the way and bring in our card. And we are going to just take your pick tool and it should come right up. There we go. I like to start either at this end or that end, because that way it just peels right off. And it is sticky, but that's what you want. It's so much easier than trying to put glue on this detailed, wave. So then I'm going to turn it around. Is it? Hi, Vay. Good to see you. And then I'm going to place this right over our wave. And we can just press it right down with those adhesive sheets, and it works out fine. So now what we're going to do, and I do have this already done, is that we bring in our designer series paper, which is 5.5 by 4 1/4. And I'm using that stitched rectangle, and it's the third from the largest. And we're going to die cut, but I already have it die cut out for us. And you're just going to place it the best you can, like in the middle. Okay, and then run it through the machine. And then what you have is a designer series paper that you can actually use for another card. And then it creates the frame that we are going to put over this card. And as you can see, if you weren't here earlier, I did get, when I was blending our sun, I had ink on my fingers that I got on the card, but we are going to fix that. This frame will fix it, so that is good. Now, we could have, as you can see, looks like this isn't going to show as much as I wanted it to, but that just tells me next time I can stamp it up a little bit higher. And I do have another card to show you where I did stamp this up a little higher. And then you can decide whether you like it like this or whether you like it stamped up a little higher. Let's go ahead and add our pelican to our card. I'm going to add a mini glue dot to the back of the pelican, just because I'm afraid, 2 at the bottom and then 1 on the pelican, the mini, because I'm afraid the large might show. And then because I want to make sure that my pelican shows, then I am going to place him about right here. And I am going to bring in our basic gray, and we're going to add some seagulls. So I'm going to ink that up, and I'm going to stamp off. And I'm going to open up my card just to make it, I have a flatter surface. I seem to be having ink everywhere today. It must not be my day. All right, now we're going to add the cloud. And I'm just going to add a little adhesive. I I think I'm going to wait to add the cloud to after we add our frame, because that way I'll know exactly where I want to add the cloud. And I can already tell when I'm going to put some embellishments, because they're going to cover up some of that basic gray that I decided to get on my card. Because when you stamp a little image like the seagulls, you do not need to press down very hard like I did. And you could add more dimensionals if you wanted to, but this will pop it up and kind of give it that frame look. But I really like the adhesive sheets on the detailed dies. And now we're just going to place this. We're going to start on one side, get it lined up like we want. And it pops up and makes it kind of like a frame. And then we're going to add our cloud. And then we're going to add some embellishments. Sometimes it kind of gets dried glue. You have to kind of take that off. I know my glue is... I don't want to pop this. I do not want to pop. I'm going to bring in another, brand new. I do not want to pop up the cloud, I guess I'm trying to say. This is a brand new one, so naturally then you're going to get a little bit more glue than you want. So let me wipe some of that off, and then we will place our cloud up here. And then bring in our embellishments. And then we can place this happy birthday right down here at the bottom. You could place it up at the corner, but I think I'm going to place it at the bottom. And I am not going to pop it up with dimensionals, but you could. You most certainly could. And I'm kind of placing it so I have a little bit of the Designer Series paper that shows at the top and the bottom. And we have some of the Pacific Point and Night of Navy, and also, see what's Coastal Cabana. So we could go with a lot of different colors here. And I am going to put one right here because I am going to try to cover up those mistakes. And I think I'm going to use a blue just for something a little bit different. And it kind of goes with the wave. So here is our card. And we might even want to, you know, you could even add, you know, a couple more embellishments if you want. And maybe one right here. And you could also use your Stampin' Blends to color your pelican. So here's our card today. I definitely was having ink everywhere, on my hands, on the cards where I didn't want it, but you have that sometimes. But here is our framed birthday card. And the other card, I did the same way, only you can see that I did not add the die, and I placed my wave a little bit higher. So you may like the wave that's a little bit higher, or you may like it with the die cut out or without the die cut out. Thank you, Marie. Thank you, Monica. I'm glad that you like the card. So I'm glad that you like the cards. I was struggling a little bit there, wasn't I? But thank you for sticking with me, and we made it through. And that's what happens. So you just try to make those mistakes. Uh, you try to fix them by adding an embellishment, or here it wasn't. We added a frame that was our plan anyway. So I hope you enjoy the crafting today, and don't forget to register for that free sample of my monthly stamps club. And I will have the recipe card that you can actually print out. So in the description, in about an hour, you can look and just click on that link, and it will take you to my web page, and you can print out the directions, the measurements, all the supplies, and the order numbers for everything that I used today. And I'm Terry Hartley at Rustic Barn Cards. I come live on Tuesday, so I'll see you next Tuesday, look at my notes, 22nd, March 22nd at 1 p.m. Central and 2 p.m. Eastern. So thank you, Vay. You have a great day too. Everyone have a great week, and I'll see you soon.